Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today I have Seth Curry on the channel. He is one of the top, if not the top, Windwalker monk in the entire world. I played with him and against him this season and last season during the rank 1 push, and I've had a lot of fun. So welcome Seth to the channel.
Yo.
How you doing, dude?
I'm doing fine. You know, my class is pretty good.
Yeah, so we do want to talk a little bit more extensively about 725, the changes for Windwalker Monk, kind of like what more or less you bring to the table. Since there's not a whole lot of variety DPS-wise with Windwalker, we can just talk about that specific spec. I mean, how do you feel, like, what were the changes from 7.0 or 7.2 to 725 for Windwalker Monk? Let's start there.
Well, there's no really changes to like the utility or anything. It's mainly damage buffs. That's pretty much all that happens. Just a bunch of damage buffs to Windwalker. Like it's like a 5% damage buff to everything, then like another 3% and something like that.
Yeah,
there's like a bunch of damage buffs to all, like consistent damage and the burst abilities.
Do you feel that Windwalker Monk needed that damage buff?
I don't think they needed all the damage buffs. I think they could have just like buffed consistent damage, like Blackout Kick, instead of just buffing Strike and Rising Sun Kick. Because when you buff Strike and Rising Sun Kick, basically it's just like, it doesn't buff your consistent damage, it just buffs your burst potential.
Yeah.
And they did that plus buffing consistent damage. So Windwalker is like, they're giving people the hard time lately.
Yeah, seems like they're in a pretty decent spot compared to last season. I feel like they were like, yeah, I mean, they did like good damage, and it seems like it's all in one go, right? With
yeah,
like,
Windwalker's last season, they were just like cooldown, like they were a 60-second cooldown. Like every minute they could do something. But outside of that, they were kind of like they just peeled people until you had damage again.
Yeah,
just like pull you all your damage so you can stun and kill somebody.
Right. That synergizes really well with Arcane Mage. It just seems that they do that better now, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you think that Windwalker is good in the design that it has, where it does damage on that frequent, like that, you know, specific interval time?
Honestly, the only reason why Windwalkers are so good right now is because like they can do stuff outside of their little cooldown. That's the only reason why like they're so good right now. Because originally, like the way they were designed, like they had one big go that could like kill through cooldowns or like force every cooldown.
Right, with Serenity.
And then if you did it right, then you could probably win a game. But like now, you can kill outside of that window, which is what makes them so strong right now.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. It's almost like they're more on the levels of like Arms Warrior with that kind of pressure.
I mean, they're no Arms Warrior, but
yeah,
they're coming pretty close.
Maybe jumping to conclusions there. Does that mean that Windwalkers can play with other classes aside from just mages?
Yeah.
Can they play with Warlocks?
Windwalkers can play a lot of comps right now. Like every single Windwalker comp I've played this season has pretty much won versus everything except Block Shaman, like with WLS Warrior comps.
What are your favorite comps as Windwalker right now?
Right now, I say my favorite comps. Okay, there's favorite comps and there's best comps. My favorite comps right now is probably like Windwalker Mage and Windwalker Enhanced or Ellie.
Right.
Those are my two all-time favorite comps for Windwalker.
Cool. All right.
And then the best comps would probably be like Windwalker Boomy, Windwalker DK, and then Windwalker Enhanced. Those are probably the three best Windwalker comps right now for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because they're so tanky, I feel like, right?
Yeah, because those classes just like synergize with Windwalker really well.
Yeah.
And as Windwalker Boomy, you can just like run around, do nothing until you randomly kill somebody. Like you just don't die as a comp. And then Windwalker Enhanced, you just kill people.
It does seem like the meta right now is very much so like the not
you just,
die
like, run
classes.
At people. Yeah, you just run at people until they die, and then you don't die. That's pretty much the meta right now.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's quite setup based right now. It just seems like whoever can not die in the immense amount of damage that other classes offer, like does well.
Yeah, it's because the Lock Shaman meta. That's usually how the Lock Shaman meta goes.
Yeah, right. But it is cool to see that Windwalker is seeing some light, seeing some, you know, increase in damage overall.
Yeah.
It seems like that they're in a pretty, like, would you say that they're in a solid place right now, or do you think that there's still needs to be improvements?
A little bit. I think the design could change. I don't really like the Windwalker design this entire expansion. Just relying on one cooldown to win the game, because like that opens up so much counterplay. Like let's say you're like playing in a tournament. Like there's so much counterplay to just that playstyle. It's just like killing in one setup.
Right.
Like there's so many variables to like for people to stop you.
Right.
So
you have to have like the stars align, right?
Yeah, because Windwalker's been like this whole expansion, and teams that have like gone out of their way to like, stop you particularly, they're just like fucked you so hard.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, I mean, do you foresee any other options for Monk as a DPS, or like is Brewmaster ever going to be available for you in a tournament, or is that like completely out of the question?
That's probably out of the question with the comps that I play. But
Yeah.
I can probably see Brewmaster being good and Windwalker DK, like if Brewmaster gets like damage buffs, because Brewmaster doesn't die, and Brewmaster actually has an ability called Nimble Brew,
Okay,
and
what's that do?
he can make 2 of them, and he can give his partners a trinket pretty much. And
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah, you can spam make them throughout the game. You can give your partners millions of amounts of trinkets.
Dude, you're just buying your friend's shots, and it just gets you out of the CC.
Yeah, exactly. Like go to a bar with your friends.
That's sick. Cool.
But I don't really like the way that Windwalker is right now. I don't think it'll stay this way because of how strong they are right now. Because like I said, they're just killing people outside of their big go, and nobody likes that.
Yeah, and you want so you don't want consistency? You want it to be a big burst class?
No. I don't want it to be a big burst class. I want them to like tone down the burst and buff the consistency of it.
So you can.
Like I still want to kill people like in a stun, but like I don't want to only kill somebody in a stun. Like I want to do stuff outside of the stun, like a rogue, like a sub rogue, like to like stun off DR, like CC people and kill people.
Okay, cool.
I don't know.
So how do you see the weakness of your class being worked in then? Because if they do consistent damage, right? If they do consistent damage, they do huge burst damage.
Well,
they're very mobile and they can live really well. Like what would be the weakness there? What's the trade-off?
Well, the weakness of Windwalker, like say in WoD, like say WoD Windwalker was exactly how I explained. They can do a lot of damage like all the time, and they can stun people and kill and stuns. The weakness of Windwalker and WoD was that they could die really easily. They have no damage reduction.
Right.
And you can still shut them down. Like you see them on their go, they can still shut them down. It takes some time to ramp up.
Yeah.
That was the weakness in WoD. You just go them, they'll have to run away and do no damage.
Yeah, and even like on paper, I would say that Windwalker probably has less defensives. It's just the ability to kite away, right? So maybe it's like an arcane mage type thing.
Kiting away in this expansion actually helps Windwalker so much because if people go you, like you already did your big go, so you're just waiting on cooldowns. So if they go you, it's like a double positive because you're just waiting around for your cooldowns anyway, and you're kiting. They're killing nobody else but you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That actually is how I feel when I play arcane mage. Like I just run away, and then my entire gameplay is based on running away.
Cooldowns up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So cool, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show and talking about your class. Definitely seems like you guys are in a pretty solid state. I understand where you're coming from, the design changes. So we'll see if they even pick up on any of those kinds of things throughout the next.
Also, they did give us a talent called Tiger Eye Brew. But the thing is about the Tiger Eye Brew, there's a lot of people have been asking me questions like, Tiger Eye Brew is not good over Fist Stun. They give us this talent that basically makes us bypass armor so we can hit playwares, and we hit playwares pretty hard with this talent. But the thing is, you lose so much for taking this talent. You lose a 4-second stun every 20 seconds.
Yeah, which
is huge.
Yeah, that's huge.
So for the comps that unless you're playing like a cleave comp, like Windwalker DK, like I said.
Do you think Tiger's Eye could bridge that consistency that you're looking for though, and you would just have to give up the stun? There's no like argument about it.
I mean, it does verge some of the consistency, but you give up your class. I've tried it before. It just doesn't work without Fist Stun.
Yeah, it makes sense. It must feel like really weird, huh?
Yeah, it feels really weird and clunky, and like it just doesn't work out. Like you don't have the peels that you need for your team. Like you can't live yourself even without Fist Stun. Like you just have no peels. You have a stun every 40 seconds, and then you try to kill in it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much with Tiger Eye Brew.
Yeah, that is odd. It's an odd situation. So it's weird that you'd have to give up utility for more damage in a situation like that. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. Maybe they'll change that though. It's a new talent.
Yeah. I hope they change it. Like honestly, I really do.
Yeah, for sure. I think that would be a good idea too, based on what you're telling me. It makes sense anyways, but I don't know the intricacies of the class too well. But regardless, like I think that there's a positive light for Windwalkers. I think that overall they've improved from the last patch. Would you agree? Like improved in
I think
strength?
they've improved in strength for sure. Like they're probably the best they've ever been right now in the entire expansion.
That's good. I mean, that's at least good for you, even though the design isn't like perfect. Maybe next expansion they'll tweak the design or change it altogether. So there's like
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know. Just ideas, I suppose. But regardless, dude, hey, where can my viewers find you on online? Like, do you stream? Do you make YouTube videos? Where can they
You
check
can
you out?
find me. My Twitch is twitch.tv/SethCurryWW.
Cool.
WW obviously standing for Windwalker. And I have a Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Sululaya. I'll spell that out for you if you want.
Awesome. And both of those are in the description, guys, if you do want to check out Seth. Awesome player, has really good insight. You should definitely follow him on Twitter and Twitch. And be sure to catch his live streams. You can also catch my live streams as well. That is down there as well. So thanks, guys, for watching. I really appreciate you coming out, Seth, and saying what's up. And talking about your class. And I will see you guys all tomorrow.